Good evening. Once again, Sunday evening. I don't know where the week has gone. Apologies for being a little bit late, but I wanted to hear what our monarch, dear Queen, had to say. And of course, we'd heard a lot of it already, but bless her, it's delightful to see her and know that she's thinking about us. And of course, her own family have been affected by this dreadful virus. So I'm going to start this evening. We're thinking a little bit about, thinking about Palm Sunday, and a hymn which hasn't made it into Singing the Faith. 162 in hymns and psalms. Trotting through Jerusalem. I find this vaguely amusing and charming that the composer of the tune has sort of likened it, if you like, to a donkey trotting along. Those of you that listened to 922 this morning, Mark talked about donkeys this morning. If you didn't watch it, then do have a look. It was a wonderful sermon about the donkeys, if you like, in our lives. Anyway, trotting through Jerusalem, Jesus sitting on a donkey's back, children waving branches singing, "Happy is he that comes in the name of the Lord." 162. Trotting away into Jerusalem. Whether we went at that speed or not, I don't know, but it's conjures up a jolly picture, doesn't it? So I'm going to move from the book, from Hymns and Psalms, to the book previous to Hymns and Psalms, the Methodist Hymn Book. Let me just check. Yes, we're seemingly in business. Suggested to me this morning, or suggested that I might do this. I did put the words up on my page a little bit earlier. My faith looks up to thee, thou Lamb of Calvary, Saviour divine. Now hear me while I pray, take all my guilt away, let me from this day be wholly thine. And I think in particular, Chris George drew my attention to Verse 3, while life's dark maze I tread, and griefs around me spread, be thou my guide. Bid darkness turn today, wipe sorrow's tears away, nor let me ever stray from thy side. From thee aside, sorry, it's older English. We've all been hearing about people who've been ill. I heard that somebody that I do know of has lost a family member, so there we are. So the virus is all around, and not in this part of the country, further up, but we all have to stay safe. My faith looks up to thee, thou Lamb of Calvary. I suspect the tune is by somebody called L. Mason. It could well be Lowell Mason, who wrote some wonderful tunes, of which I'll think of, and no doubt somebody will remind me of what they are. My faith looks up to thee. most evenings of life. But some of these are coming back fresh to me, and as I sit and play, just bring back memories and various things of singing these hymns some time back. Moving back to hymns and psalms, and in Singing the Faith, 170 and 276 in Singing the Faith, 170 in hymns and psalms, Lift High the Cross. I've been doing some experimenting this afternoon, apart from my other vegetable growing experiments, which you may have seen pictures of. I think people are sort of taking that up. It's not my idea. I saw it on the internet, and apparently my niece Kim in Australia says you can do it with lots of things. You cut the top off a carrot if it's got a bit of the green bits still, and stick that in, and that'll go on again. You won't get another carrot, but it'll just continue growing. So I was experimented to see if I could share my screen, but my webcams won't cope with it. It makes me sound like Pinocchio or Mickey Mouse or something when I try and do something, so that didn't work, but I'll keep experimenting. Anyway, let's back and do a bit of singing. This hymn, Lift High the Cross, the love of Christ proclaim. Of course, while I waffle on like this, it gives you a chance to find the book or find the music or whatever. So, here we go. good, strong, fine tune by Sidney Nicholson, so Sir Sidney Nicholson, I think as he became, who was organist of St George's, Windsor. Somebody's going to tell me that's wrong in a minute, but anyway, St George's, Windsor, that's where our dear colleague Luke Bond is now Royal Organist to the Queen. How about that? Of course, he spent some time at Truro, and as I've said before, anybody who comes to Truro often goes on to great things, or greater things even. Truro is right up there. So Sidney Nicholson also went on to found the Royal School of Church Music, which is doing their very best in a difficult time to support us church musicians, and work going on in church in a different time. I'm going to play the tune I'm going to play the hymn, rather, 167, In the Cross of Christ I Glory, and I'm going to play it to the tune Love Divine. You could sing it to All for Jesus as suggested in the book, but I seem to think that All's done it to Love Divine, so I hadn't checked on the tune, I checked the words. Oh dear. So let's find the tune. I won't trust myself to play it off the top of my head, because anything could happen. As oh dear. Well, that's a thing. Oh well. That's not the tune I want either. Oh well, let's just make it up as we go along then. In the cross of Christ I glory. Tune, Love Divine, In the Cross of Christ I Glory. I'm going to just do one more for this evening. Just I'm reminded of sometimes, strange things can happen when you go to play for, in this case, a wedding. I was en route to Campbell Wesley when I was organist down there to play for a wedding, and I suddenly thought, I haven't got any music for Blind Where and Love Divine or Love's Excelling. It just came into my mind as I was thinking of the tune, and I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I wasn't very good at playing by ear at that stage, just playing it out of my head, as it were. So I spent a little bit of time during the wedding ceremony actually penciling out what the notes would be, thinking them through in my head. I worked alongside Roger Wills at Redruth School for 18 years, and things changed considerably. Roger's got this wonderful gift of being able to play anything by ear, and it was a real education for me, and I built up my oral skills considerably. So more about Roger another day. Wonderful musician. Maybe perhaps at some stage he'll come online and perhaps he'll do a few hymns as well. Wonderful player. As I'm going to do 689, Will Your Anchor Hold in the Storms of Life. I know I did this the other day, but I had a request from my sister-in-law, but I play it for my brother. I have a brother, Nathan, in London, along with his wife Louise, and of course things, I suppose, in the cities they don't get out in the fresh air like we can, and added to that Louise's mum and dad, neither of them are particularly well, a long way away in York, so it's very difficult for families and people getting to see each other. So there we are. But this is a wonderful hymn, Will Your Anchor Hold, and it's a particular favourite of my brother Nathan, and so I'll play that again this evening, although I did it the other day. Not to worry, we can't have enough of this. We have an anchor that keeps the soul steadfast and sure while the billows roll, fastened to the rock which cannot move, grounded firm and deep in the Saviour's love. bit more upbeat than last evening, but the triumphant entry into Jerusalem and all that's to come, and knowing that whatever was going to happen was going to take place, we've still got that anchor. So as always, keep safe. I'll be back in tomorrow evening. I'm not planning on going anywhere. Mr. Johnson doesn't want us to move about too much, so I'm heeding his advice. So do stay safe, take care, and God bless, and keep those requests coming in. It's good to have different things, and if I haven't yet played a hymn you've asked for, do ask me again, nag me. I do need nagging sometimes because I forget things. And good to know that some people have, not only have they been joining in singing, but they've decided that perhaps they'll brush the dust off their piano and have a tune for themselves. So wonderful. I'd encourage you to do that. You're never too late to play piano. And there is a book with that title, Never Too Late to Play Piano, by Pam Wedgwood. There we go. So anyway, enough from me, and sleep well, keep safe, God bless.